All right, good morning, good morning. We are live. Let me get my screen started. All right. Okay, I think we're okay. Can you guys see my face screen and hear my face scream? Can you guys hear me okay? If you can, please put a 1 in the chat. If not, don't put anything in the chat. I don't want to be lied to. Carrie says 1. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, so we're going to get started. So it's Tuesday. We had a good day yesterday. We had a good day so far this morning outside the market. So let's take a look. I am still holding my PAVS from yesterday. Just for transparency here, I just straight up didn't look at this account again. So we're back to it, but I'm also okay. Lost the chat. All good. I don't know what this means. Oh, your color is different. Sorry, I was like, something's wrong. Do you see here? Okay. Thank you, Charlie. We were both having a little bit of a day there. Also, it is hot as hell in this office, so I'm going to crack my shirt open a little bit. Sorry for being inappropriate here, but it's too much. All right, so let me clear up my watch list. And because I'm holding PAVS from yesterday, that money is currently tied up, so we're gonna just do the 1 trade probably today, or 2 smaller ones. But I've got 276 to trade with today. So we're in pre-market here. We got Atomic, obviously, or Alpha Time, sorry, ATMC, just rolling up this morning. But it is a trash stock. It's got less than 500,000 float, so it's just purely driven by volume and a low float. So I'm not going to be touching that one probably until after market open. Sorry, I'm just rolling up my sleeve here a little bit because it, again, super hot. Might crack a window open on this one. XCUR is also number 2 in the slot here. So first step, just going to build my watch list. So I'm just going to see what's out there, what's got a good volume to market cap ratio. And then we're just going to see what they give us. So ATMC is just the favorite child. This is going to halt left and right. It's going to be insane. Probably not going to touch that one. Let's see, XCUR. I could see the appeal, but it needs volume, right? I don't really care too much about this little like just pop in volume. So we'll wait on that one. NCPL, I like what it's doing, and it's got more sustainable volume. If you look at that, it's not quite as just pop and drop, but there is still, you know, some hit or miss with the volume. So, you know, I'll add all these to the watch list for today. We'll just keep an eye on them, but not liking what I'm seeing so far. So we'll hang out and enjoy each other's company. What's up, Jun? Chris, Nikki, Porter. Hello, hello. Let me go down the list here. We got Bethany, we got Carrie, as always. Thank you, Charlie. Always a pleasure having you here. Elton, how's it going? I haven't talked to you in a little bit. We got Jun, J-Wag. Always a pleasure, sir. Kenny Penny, my favorite Pennsylvanian. We got Nikki again. Ugh. You're always in my face. Chris, Paul, Porter, and Pookie. All right. How's everybody doing? You love it there? Oh, no. Oh, no. I got to eat more garlic. That'll keep you away. ATMV has a garbage volume to market cap ratio. It's a $10 stock. VOR, same thing. Just a really bad volume to market cap ratio. So we're not really seeing spectacular volume this morning. So that's good. That means that we're just kind of, the market's telling us just to wait. We don't want to be super aggressive. Trox, this is like a top special. I like the stock, but only when it's got sustained volume and only when there's hundreds of millions of shares. Not touching it on a day like today just because it happens to be up. This is all on disproportionate ask pressure. So we're going to hold off. Just kind of just seeing what's in the market so far. So I think the most entertaining 2 are probably going to be XCUR and NCPL. They're both currently forming red candles, so we're just going to hang out today. Yeah, exactly, Charlie. She does. The head just, it's like, which way is he going? She does that. Sailor Brown, what's going on, buddy? I did see a couple of you guys messaged me as well. I just can't get to them in the mornings until right around the time where I'm on a stream. So I'll check yours here in a second. All right, so I've got 3 tickers here on the watch list here. I don't see anything else just yet, so we're probably going to find our other tickers after market open. So I don't want to rush into stuff. Is it? I wonder. Is it? Let me see here on my my SoFi payout thing. I have to wait. It says another 10 hours again, so they pushed my security hold back on that as well. Sailor Brown. That's fine. Hey, alarm clock, how you doing, buddy? Ah, good morning. Jerk. Anyway, alarm clock went off. That means it's 9:20, which means we got 5 minutes till auction cross, which is good because that means that we got our market's going to open 9 minutes and 36 seconds. Our ATMC here is it halted at this is 8:31. But that's obviously beyond that 5 minutes. So that's probably going to be a news halt before too long. I don't see them. I don't see them just magically releasing this because we asked nicely, you know. But it is also only up 500%, so that's got to be a news halt. Shareholder approval, blah 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, these are all 16 hours and more old. Let me check the Nasdaq trading halts. I just want to make sure that's not a news halt. Yeah, it's not. That's odd. All right. Yeah, so it looks like at 8:25, according to Nasdaq. I'll just pull this up, make that a little bigger for you guys. 8:25, right? Webull says 8:31. Right here on the time and sales. So I doubt there were 5 minutes of pending orders that just filled for 5 straight minutes. That's 300 seconds. There's no way that happened. So something happened after the fact. But you can also see they got the warrants, all the suffixes there. So there's some funky stuff going on there. So I wonder what their issue is there. What was their vote on? Oh, that's super tiny font. Okay, blah, 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 blah. They had their vote. Okay. For SPAC merger, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Every 10,000 preference shares of a par value of 0.0001. It should be consolidated into one preference share, par value $1 US. Okay. So they're doing ordinary shares. All right. Congrats. In connection with the meeting, Alpha Time shareholders holding an aggregate of 382,091. That's such a specific number. Ordinary shares exercise the right to redeem such shares for a pro rata portion of the funds in the trust account. So everyone's cashing out. As a result, approximately 4 million, basically, $12.38 per share will be removed from the trust account to pay such Alpha Time shareholders, subject to further redemption reversal requests, if any, received and approved by Alpha Time prior to the closing. So. Interesting. So they're all just exercising their stuff. All right. That's not bad though. I mean, it's 4 million. What's the market cap on this sucker? 30. Well, it's 10% of their market cap. Yeah. Not bad though, because that's also going to take shares out of the pool. So it's consolidating the shares. So that's good. It's the same thing. All right, cool. So nothing we have to care about, but that is a share adjustment halt. So that ain't gonna on halt anytime soon. Let me get back to Discord over here. Can I explain auction cross? Yeah. So basically, auction cross is a feature of the market. So when this is when auctions cross. No. So when there's high volume. Okay. Well, let me back up. Okay. So the way volume works, right, is you've got people on the bid and you've got people on the ask. When I say people, this represents anything. It can be algos, it could be humans, it could be long pending orders from whatever. It doesn't matter. You've got one party on one side, the other party on the other side. Someone has an order on the bid, someone has an order on the ask. Okay. when the exchange goes to match these orders, it needs to find equal and opposite. So it has to start with one order first, right? It's got to grab either the bid one or the ask first, depending on type, priority, blah, 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 right? So basically, if the order that it grabs first is on the ask side, it's gonna look at that ask and be like, all right, I'm gonna process you right now. What can we find to fill this order with quickly? And then it's gonna reach across to the bid, and it's gonna say, all right, do I have an equal and opposite order? Meaning, do I have let's say it's a buy stop order, right? Let's say someone has a buy stop order up here on the ask, and then it's gonna reach down to see the bid, and it's gonna say, okay, well, can I fill this number of shares with some sort of sell order? Because this one's trying to buy, so I need sell orders to match on this side. So is there a stop loss down here? Or, is there a limit sell that's pending down here that didn't get filled yet? So it grabs that and it pulls the price back up. It grabs those shares and fills them. That transaction is met. Cash changes hands, shares change hands, blah, 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 blah. So that's how it occurs outside of auction cross. Now that we're in auction cross, it can't really go one order at a time because that would take too long and it would be very messy and the price would just do this, right? So what happens in auction cross is there's a very narrow window pre-market where there's it's a bit of a free-for-all, right? So instead of taking one specific order at a time, it grabs clusters of price levels and it fills all the orders it can pretty randomly. So instead of doing this, it's doing kind of one of these situations here all at once. And it's just very, very quickly trying to grab whatever it can and fill wherever it can, right? And then it moves up to the next level and it just kind of chunks. And that's where you see the price kind of move a little bit differently during auction cross. And that's just kind of the first, it's like 5 minutes before market open. So that's all. It's just kind of think of it as just a rapid fill window where price gets a little bit crazy because of the only time there's an actual imbalance in the market. And then whatever's left, that goes under the NOII. This is the buy side imbalance or ask side imbalance. And this gets reported. That's why it's only a thing after 9:25 to 9:30. If you see someone using the NOII at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they're full of it. So they just don't understand what this is. So I always get a giggle out of that when I see people say that. When I say it is doing these things, you're referring to the exchanges that handles the orders. Yeah, it's the specific match mechanism of the exchange. So every exchange is different, but the exchange itself that we're referring to, in this case, it would be NASDAQ on this stock, XCUR. It's responsible for grabbing and assigning these orders side to side, and then it reports back to the brokers. And then it says, okay, you guys get this number of shares, you guys get this number of dollars. And that's how it works. Sorry, let me take a look here. JWAG says how the opening closing auction works. Order collection, buyers submit bids, what they'll pay, and sellers submit asks, what they'll accept. And then the price discovery, an algorithm finds a single price that matches the most shares from both sides, often near the midpoint of bid and asks. And then execution, all match traders occur at the single price, establishing the official opening or closing price for the stock. Yeah, so basically the same thing. The channel has a 25-person limit. Ooh, the Discord, the live stream. That's not good. Let me grab you guys the YouTube link, and then you can at least watch it on there. Sorry about that. Discord, sometimes it lets us do like 100 people. Sometimes it lets us do 25. So there's the link in the chat if you guys ever have any difficulty. And let me just, I'm sorry about that. We used to use the stages, and that had like a 99-person limit. And then we went back to the voice channel, which had like a 50-person limit. And then some days it just says, okay, we're going to do 25 now, and that's it. So I don't know what's going on. But hopefully that works. You guys should still be able to hear. You just can't watch it, I assume. Yeah, the butter post. Sorry about that, buddy. You just see what you see. It's Snowflake. This is jibber jabber. All right, today we're going to learn the one thing Snowflake couldn't ever learn before. All right, we got about a minute till market open. And again, I'm not rushing into stuff. I've got one order that I'm going to place for 276.59. And then I've got my PAVS shares that I'm looking to exit today. And we'll see what we get. But it's not going to be it's probably going to be a day where we just look at what's actually moving after market open. I don't really see anything here pre-market that is appealing. Good setups, but I don't like it. Yeah, it's weird. So you're better off just watching that on YouTube, unfortunately, if you ever miss that window where there's 25 or more. But that's also why we stream it on YouTube and stuff like that. So I'm glad you guys are able to see it there. 25 isn't that many, and I hate it. Stages are great, but yeah, there were so many issues. Just people couldn't see or hear or join. It was a mess. Discord just needs to fix their stuff, like at the end of the day. So Discord CEO, if you're watching, we're watching you, buddy. And you better do it right next time. All right, let me switch this over to the 1 day. The market is open, so I'm just going to kind of let things settle a little bit, let them choose their direction for the day. I only see 2 stocks that I like so far. I like NCPL. It's a little close to $1, so I'm a little bit sketch about that. I do like XCUR, but it doesn't have any volume that I like right now at market open. NCPL is probably the best candidate. Yeah, I'm not too impressed with what I'm seeing right now, so I'm just going to kind of scroll around. I'm just seeing what's out there. I'm not too interested in grabbing stuff as it starts to move. I really just want to see a clearer direction before I do anything super crazy here. VOR, I don't even remember this stock, but look at that. Selling off. I love it. Oh, mama. Mama. All right, that one's a little double top situation there. Yeah, it looks like XCUR is probably going to be the best one for potential, but NCPL is the one that's actually moving a little bit. So it's showing a little bit more chop. So it's pretty much just going to be those 2 that I'm going to be watching today from what I can see so far, until something else crawls up this list and gets all the volume. Everything else is just telling me to hold off. So if we can get XCUR up over maybe like 970, maybe I'll grab a piece, but I'm not going to grab it here while it's kind of making up its mind, you know? So we'll just hang out. Sorry, also the sun is like really bright. I hate it. Also, hello to people on YouTube. Hope you're having a good day. Glad you guys can watch the stream because Discord sucks. But yeah, all the cool kids are on YouTube. I don't like X people. Just kidding. You guys are funny. I'll let you have it. All right, so I still don't see any movement on either of these. NCPL is just kind of making up its mind still. So it's got to break out and it's got to go. The good news about a day like today is that when something does decide to go, it's probably going to get all the attention. And that would make it easier for people like me that just want to trade those breakouts and get in and get out. So I did my hotkey setup. I'll show you here in a second. I'm just fighting with my sleeve here. So I got my hotkey set up here. Just for those who don't know, if I hit Control 1, it will buy some number at market price, which I'm not going to use. I'm going to use my Turbo Trader for entry. Then if I hit Control 2, it'll sell 75% of my shares. So I can do that over and over and over again. So if I have 100 shares, it'll sell 75, and then I'll have 25 left. Then if I hit the button again, it'll sell 20 some odd shares, and then I'll have some smaller number left. So I can do that over and over until I run out of shares. And then if I hit Control 3, it closes everything I have. So right here, I'm just waiting for a breakover. Can't do that yet. Is that 276? I'll just do 276 on that one. Kind of want to see. Yeah, I like what's happening with that wall there. So I'm watching the 115 wall. It's not quite there yet, but they're definitely playing with it. Definitely looking for a breakout. Oh, there we go. Dang it. Why? Why don't you like me? I'm not going to chase it up there. I'm fighting with my Weeble here. It won't let me buy shares. But anyway, we'll catch the next one. I don't want to chase that into a new high, so I'll wait for a pullback, and then I'll grab a little piece if I can. But I don't want to get it 7 cents higher than where I originally planned it. I was trying to grab it around here, 115. So we'll hang out on that one. And then, remember, I'm not too concerned if it wants to just go. If it's going to go 50 cents, it's going to go 10 cents, you know. So wait for a pullback on that one. But like I said, you know, once something gets favor, once it gets like the direction and the volume, that it'll probably just keep going. So easy for continuation here. So IBIO is also getting kind of spicy. I do like this one. I just don't think the volume's there yet. But I do like it. It's coming out of my box. If I pull this one up here, you can see this is the only thing I really care for. Is just pops out of these boxes. And I don't want to hop around too much, so I'm going to kind of keep an eye on some of the old repeat offenders here. I think there's some good potential in some of these, but I don't want to jump around too much today. TROX is showing a little bit of a pop as well. I'm just kind of looking down here at these percentages, just watching them move. And just come back here to the 2 minute. That's a beautiful move. I don't trust that volume though. Like it just kind of came in. Don't like that. Nope, nope, nope. That might run into some issues here. So this one's pretty heavily diluted. It's 115 million shares. So we're gonna hold off on that one. Yeah, Charlie's got the shiny color. Poor but traveled. Nice. Top straight in ADTX. We're looking at it. What do you got there, sir? Yeah, I can't do these ones. Not in this kind of market. You know, you go up on the higher time frames, absolutely. But I just don't trust these. They're great for the pullbacks, right? You get a pullback and then a rally. Those are nice. I'm going to just peek back here, NCPL. This might be our pullback opportunity here. We're just going to wait. I would like to see at least some sort of lower, a lower low on one of these candles, but we'll see what we get. So let me just draw some ranges. I'm just going to have this little bouncy pad right here. So basically that's what I'd be looking for, but that would be a pretty deep retrace for that move. So we'll see if we get that. XUR just didn't move at all. It's just making up its mind. So we're just the market is telling me to hold off on stuff, so I don't see what I like just yet. I think IBIO is trying to be a dark horse today. It definitely wants to move, but I just don't trust it yet. It's one of my favorite stocks. Don't get me wrong, but it's not giving me anything that I can use. Better than poor and untraveled like myself, yeah. Gotcha, Charlie, yeah. Oh, all right, here we go. So NCPL is just pushing higher, which is good. A lot of strength. ATMV is starting to push a little bit as well. It's got to keep the volume though. So when we see those like when a candle closes here and then opens up here, that means that it's a pretty sparse bid-ask spread. And those are the ones like this is a 60-cent spread right there. So it might look like the price is nice and appealing. It might look like it's doing what we want it to do. But that right there is a 30-cent spread. That's 80 cents. Like that means that you could buy something at like $12 and get filled for your sell at 11.20, even if the price doesn't move. So that's why I don't want to trade this one specifically. But it's stuff like that you got to look at. You can't just look at, oh, the candle's going up, let's grab it. You really got to pay attention to that bid-ask spread. It's where to get hurt. Now, when stuff moves, yeah, you can catch, you know, pretty wicked runs. But if you get caught on the way down, you're done. So I don't know. I might do a little bit of a. Let's do that. Let's do a couple little $100 trades. That way it'll be easier, I think. Obviously, I'm not chasing this one. Let's see what we got here. So Trox wants to push as well. Yeah, you know what? I'm just kind of looking at the order book here. This is ATMV. I'm just waiting. I'm looking for certain things on the order book and the time and sales. It wants to rally. So at this point, it's just a timing thing because I don't want to be first, but I don't want to be last. So there's a very narrow window in which I can grab something like this. So we're just hanging out. We're just watching. And I'm kind of hunting a little bit. So it's getting close, though. 1336. So now I'm going to place this as a market fill, which means it's probably going to fill it at the ask or near the ask. So it's at $13. So I want to find an area on the order book here that's going to have a good chunk of liquidity so I can get filled at a decent price. So like right now, for example, if I try to place a market order, I want to wait till this 1250 gets tested or somewhere close to there. If I can, I'm going to grab it right here. So a little bit of a high risk entry there. But I was going to say I want to grab it when the bid is high so that I can I have a better chance of that spread tightening up when it's time for me to get filled. So I just grabbed a piece right here at 1326. So now I've got my hotkeys, so I can place the buy and sell orders, or the sell orders, sorry, specifically to get out of this trade as it goes without having to do craziness. So let me also just peek over here at XCUR. It's still in this range. I think once this breaks out of the range, it can have a pretty shiny exit. It wants to go. Let's get to get over 926. I'm going to grab some of that right there as well. A little bit risky on that one, XCUR. But I really like both those setups, XCUR and ATMV. So let's see what those do. And we'll just kind of hang out. They're both very low float, so we're going to see a lot of volatility. Please don't copy me, guys. Just don't copy me. It's not worth the risk. There are safer trades out there, and I don't want you guys to hurt yourselves or get stressed out. The only other one that I can see right now that might want to play is TROX, and I'm not going to chase that one. This one is much sketchier, in my opinion. I just don't like this kind of move on something that's got that kind of float and this kind of volume. Like it ramped up and then it plateaued and then it just, I don't trust it. Once the volume falls off of this one, you're going to be looking at this all day and then wondering when it's going to come back. So I don't like those. NCPL halted. Yeah, that one, it's getting a lot of attention there. You know, so we did get our retest and then waiting for another retest on this one. And I'm probably not going to trade it, but I would like to see it come back down to here and then rally. Don't really like what it's doing here. But if you look at this lower box right here, this candle, it did come back and test that perfectly, but it didn't breach it. So still no go for me. So that halted at 938.39, which means it should be unhalting here in about 40 seconds. So we'll see what that does. Also, let me check my, give me 1 second, guys. I'm back. All right, so I got about 20 some odd seconds. Oh my God, that sun is so bright. Thoughts on APLD? I love Applied Digital. It was one of my favorite ones when, I can't remember what city it was. There were riots and that one and Digital Ally both popped up on my my radar quite a bit. And APLD has been one of my favorites since then. Now, it's not the body cam stock. That was Digital Ally. But I like APLD, especially on higher time frames. All right, NCPL is unhalted. And remember, we know exactly when that's likely to happen because we have we understand the time and sales, and we know it's a 5-minute initial halt. So we're not having to come back after we see our P&L moving all over the place. We know to look at it ahead of time. All right, so it looks like it's pushing a little bit higher, but it's struggling. So we'll see if that one, it looks like it's got plenty of strength. There's a little heartbeat on it. We'll see if they can blast that one higher. And we've got a beautiful 5-candle run right here. So be careful because once that starts to fall, there's a lot of potential for that to fall down and kind of give all this back. And remember, we're looking for a retest. So if it wants to come down, it can come down pretty hard. And by that, I mean, we're looking at another potential halt. So got to be mindful of that. Just a week and a half or so till I'm not rusted orange anymore. I think it's like a brick. I think it's a brick color. I don't know. Maybe some sort of, it's a blood clay. I do have like a dark green background on my Discord though, so it's hard to read. But you know, it's funny. It's used to be color. Oh no. It's the shun color. I'm fine. It's fine. Guys, what did you do to Charlie? Now let's take a look at APLD. JWAG says a $100 trade on NCPL from Lee's watch list would have made more profit than the cost of a whole month of Lee's coaching session. Yeah, I mean, it kind of pays for itself. I mean, let me put that link in the chat as well. Thank you for putting that out, JWAG. I like the I like when people consider getting a coach. It's nice. It's helpful. Yeah, so as far as APLD goes, you know, we were watching it down in low 2s, 3s, and now it's up to $32.86. I mean, I've had this one. It's been delicious for a very long time. It's one of my favorite stocks. We've made a ton on it. Now, obviously, I'm out. I'm not holding any on any of my accounts, but we made a killing on it. There's no reason to keep holding it. So yeah, I mean, something like this where it's got good, strong growth potential. You know, if you want to trade it, you can, honestly, you can just kick it up the higher time frames and just look for areas where you've got massive green moves and just plot out the areas they came from and just look for retests of those areas. And then if that's how you want to trade it, you can. If not, you can always just catch it when it's green and put a stop loss right underneath it if you want. There's really no wrong answer on these unless you're allowing stuff to go super far down and not able to offset that risk. So that's kind of the big mechanism of any trading plan, is you can allow drawdown, but if you allow it, you have to manage it. And that's what's going to take you out the game, as if you can't control your losses. Like you can see here, I'm down pretty significantly on PABS. I'm holding those shares and I'm allowing them to kind of move up and down, but I'm also growing this account overall despite taking a couple hits like that, because it's the overall gains that kind of offset that. And so far in this case, ATMV is up about 5%, a little over 5%. I'm going to keep holding, but you guys are free to make your own choices on that. I hope you're not copying me. Better not be copying me. And yeah, we'll just see where this one wants to go. But those consistent take profits are going to treat you a lot better than holding like I do for bigger profits. Yesterday's watch list paid for your premium for 3 months. That's awesome. That's a beautiful thing, man. Congrats. And yeah, that's the theory, right? Foundation's free, and then you get the coaching, which is, you should be able to afford that with the the slow, consistent concepts that we teach, plus the watch list. And then once you're in coaching, you get his trade follow-alongs, you get the walkthroughs, you learn his trading plan, and get all the coaching and mentorship that you could ever dream of, or you harass him. Whoever your coach is, just harass him and get whatever you want out of it. And then in theory, that should pay for premium, and then premium should pay for lifetime, and so on and so forth. And then it's just a constant evolution of bigger and bigger progress, right? Sailor Brown just YOLO'd his account. Oh no. Don't do it, man. That's the crappy part, is I can't even legally tell you guys not to YOLO, which makes no sense. I should be able to tell you to be as risk averse as you want, as I want. But I can't tell you guys not to YOLO your account because it constitutes financial advice, which is stupid. In my opinion, hi SEC, how's it going? That was a joke. It was a prank. I can ask you if it makes sense to YOLO your account, and if you're comfortable with it, if it turns into a huge loss. But can't tell you not to YOLO. So here we are. You won't tell him. Thank you, Jag. Appreciate it. You ain't no snitch. Appreciate you, buddy. You're my favorite Canadian. Don't tell Babu Chris. But it's you. It's always been you. I won't tell if you don't tell. Ain't no snitch. There you go. I miss Green Cankers. Okay, good. Good. Nobody tell Chad or Babu Chris. All right, NCPL looks like it might want to fall. So in this case, right, we got our 5 candle run. It broke, but it didn't sell off, which means there's still a lot of strength in this. So that could be, that tells me there's a setup here, right? So we can take this range and just look for the breakout. If it goes up, we can grab it. If it goes down, we don't. And then let me just check something real fast. Interesting. I have $92 settled cash, but I couldn't place one buy for $270. Interesting. Weeble's being crazy today. He's here too. I hope not. Where is Babu Chris? I haven't seen him in a while. Oh no, Joppy, the feed stopped. Let me grab that link for you for YouTube. If anyone has any issues watching this on Discord, go ahead and grab that YouTube link. There's it's like a half-second delay or maybe like a 1-second delay. He changed his name to OOO. No, that's Chris. That's the other Chris, I believe. Yeah, Chris M. Mr. Man. He's with us in Chicago, or Traders Paradise. Also, so we had 2 Chris's there. I think we were outnumbered. We had 2 Matts, 2 Chris's. What else do we have? We only had 1 Tammy, but that's more than enough because she's awesome. Listening to audio on Discord, watching delayed feed on YouTube. Fair enough. There's not much we're watching right now. Like, we're not looking to fine tune an entry or anything on this one. We're just kind of waiting for these to resolve at this point. Well, we kind of had 2 Tammys because we had a Terry. We had a Tammy and a Terry. Babu's from Alberta. That I don't know. I don't know much about our Canadian audience here. Just kind of peeking around at these. No, BC. Oh, okay. Both are French Canadian. Chag definitely speaks more French than I do. Oh my. Yeah, it's nothing but vowels, Kenny Penny. Get your consonants out of here. Oh, it's so hot in this office. Ugh. No we without you and I. There it is. There it is. Yeah, let's focus. Manitoba. I don't know. I don't know anything about Canada. All right, so ATMB looks like it's getting ready to rally here again. Let me just plot my level here. That's going to be the pre-market high. Obviously, I don't have to shoot for the whole thing. If we do get that, that's a quick 23%. That's 23 bucks, 24 bucks. At which point I would like to lock 3/4 of the shares, and then we'll go from there. Oh boy. Took some KITT. Yes, that one is one of our favorites. Nice. 95-cent stock. So you got in and out on this candle here, on the little pullback. Check. Oh, the gifts. I love it. You guys are so catty. I love it. Both leg breakout. Good stuff. Yeah, it's a good setup on KITT. And you're out. That's what's more important. What would we do without gifts? I don't want to think about that. That'd be a dark universe there. All right, so ATMV is just waiting on a little bit more volume. It does have slightly increasing volume here going into this level. I'm not going to be pushing any more dollars into this one, but it does have a beautiful setup here for a break and then potential double top. So we got to be careful with that. XCUR is kind of pulling down a little bit, but it's still in this range. So we're just kind of hanging out. Lots of volatility on these. Remember, they're low float trash, so they're going to have a lot of volatility. And if you guys do trade these and you don't want to deal with any drawdown, that is a choice, right? So please manage your risk. Don't just hold stuff because Pookie's holding it. You can always hold to the upside. You don't have to hold to the downside, right? That's the cool part. Delicious. So there's 7% right there in ATMV. So if you are trading this one, you can always lock at least, the bulk of your stuff, just so you don't give those profits back. IBIO round 2. I like IBIO. I like this one when it gets like those really big volume days. Like if I kick this up to the 30-minute, when it gets big volume, this one gets way better. And you can see it it's beautiful for those pivots. It's very nice. But without the big volume, it's sketchy. So, especially when it's pushing higher highs. So I like it. I don't trust it. So this is a good one to do like the 20 MA strategy, for example, just so that you can, let me turn that on, I'll show you guys. The 20 MA strategy is basically just grab the 20 MA, grab a small red candle off the MA above it, and then when that color change happens, that's your entry, and then your stop loss just goes below the lower of the two candles, and then that way your risk range is always super small, and the uptrend should carry the price higher. That's just a stupid brain dead strategy. I'm not using that today, but it's a nice, easy one. So really just waiting for ATMP to blast over 1650. We'll see where that goes. Don't want much, 5 or 10%. Yeah, I mean, you trade the volume when it's starting to come in, so you have the best potential there for those 5 to 10% hits. I love it. John Stonick, hey, Pookie just made it in. We'll be listening in from work. Hope you all are learning from the best day. Oh no. Well, I'll see if I can find them. But you're stuck with me in the meantime. No, I'm glad you're here, man. We had a great talk yesterday. Was it yesterday? It wasn't yesterday. It was Friday. I'm losing my mind. When did we talk, buddy? I think it was Friday. It was Friday. End of day Friday. Wow. I'm going bonkers. Yeah. Oh man. It's a long week already, guys. No, but we had a great talk. It was good. I'm glad we got to hang out and chat. Just watching ATMB here. Nothing exciting today. Just kind of chilling. Yeah, I'm glad we were finally able to catch up and make time. It was good stuff. And did that recording work for you? I didn't check that one. Usually I check them just to make sure like my mic wasn't muted or anything, but I like to record those as well, just so you always have it. I just completely flooded John. I just rambled at him for an hour and a half. It was great. He got the crash course. A little blur for my PC, but it comes back to life after the first bit. Okay, all right. That's good. Just wanted to make sure. Well, I'm glad you're here, even if you just kind of hanging out. NCPL did pop. That's going to halt probably. So our pullback didn't quite go deep enough, right? We kind of figured there'd be a little bit of extra strength on this one. We broke our 5 candle rule. We started to pull back. It should have sold off right there, but it didn't, which means that there's a little bit of extra strength in there. Then you got a 5 candle setup here, and then that broke, and you got a good pop to the upside. So there's going to be a lot of strength, a lot of hype on this one. I just don't want to get caught in that, if it falls back down. So we'll just kind of hang out for a little bit. XUR is pulling down a little bit. Let's see where I can add my second piece. I'm not looking to be super aggressive with this one, but if it wants to give me another buy, I'll take it. I'll grab it and run. So that's going to probably be my zone where I'd look to add, but it looks like I missed my buy there. So I'll wait and see if it comes back and hangs out there. And then that'll be it. I won't be placing any more buys for the day because that'll be the rest of my settled cash. So for this box, what I would like to see is a small candle inside this box. So I want to see the price pull down, give me a small candle, and then pull back to the upside. So when it does that, I'll place my buy like right there. Okay, but I got to see it come down and hang out here first. I can't just see it dip into the box like that. Because I'm not just trying to snipe the bottom, right? I want to see an actual, a real retest. So I'll see if I get that. If not, I'm not going to add any more to this one because that means logically it would be staying above here. So I'll just hang out and see what it does. Let's see, when did NCPL halted? That halted at 9:59, so 10:04:04. So we got about 3.5 minutes on that one. And then that one should unhalt. Yeah, okay. So we got a little bit of time on that one. ATMV's kind of indecision mode here. We got a Harami candle. Just go ahead and draw that as well. If we break out of that range, we have potential for a much bigger run. There's that one. And then we got XUR, of course, which we just walked through. So I think the next one to watch here is going to be ATMV. And once we get a nice clean pop on that one, we should pursue new high. And that should be happening here momentarily. You guys see all these wicks up here? We just got to break over those. So right here specifically, we break over that, we should be good to run. There we go, we're over it. Let's see if we can actually get that run now. There's 11%. Let me catch up on the chat while that's doing its thing. Kit is good. Kit. Yeah, we like Kit. It's a nice one. Is there a way to strategically use LMT versus STP buy orders, so limit versus buy stop orders, to get into a position? Yeah, absolutely. So limit orders always get filled at or better. Buy stop orders get triggered and then executed as market orders. So it kind of depends on what you're trading and what kind of volatility there is. But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of strategies that include buying down, but also understand that you don't have to deal with drawdown ever if you don't want to. So if your strategy is to build a position down, then you can use limit orders that are placed so far down, or you can place buy stops and follow them down like as new candles form. So if I just draw, I'm just going to grab a little drawing snippet here, and we'll just slap that over here so we can still see. So let's assume I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If I see 5 more candles with a lower high and they're going into an area that I like, then I can just place a buy stop order right above the last high that's closed. And then once the next candle forms, you know, that will form a new lower high, new lower high, new lower high, new lower high. And then eventually that series will break and that will give me my entry right there. And that's just moving the same buy stop order down. Does that make sense? So that's a way to kind of follow the price into compression, right? And then you've got the other type of setup, which is the breakout, right? It's not compression or release, it's overextension. So in this case, if you wanted to, you know, you can place your ranges, your boxes, and do whatever strategy you want, but you can do something like the drop percent method, you know, and you have to make sure that if you do that, they have to be far enough away from one another to actually move your average, because when I see a lot of people try this and they put them like 2 to 3% away from each other because they want to get in, they just want to get filled as much as possible. And the problem with that is if you put all your money in the same spot, you sacrifice your ability to move that cost basis down, which is the whole point in doing that, right? So the idea is that you place your buy, you place a second buy, you place a third buy, price turns around, and then you have 1, 2, 3 amounts of buys where your average would be like right here, or a little bit lower, I guess, depending on how you weighted it. And that would be your break even instead of being up here where you first bought it, right? So you take your average and you move it down here, from there, sorry, down to about here. And then at this point and above, you have the option to reduce your position size back to that first buy and then repeat the process in case it goes back down and does it again. So there's a little bit of complexity with that. And when you do stuff like that, again, you really have to make sure that your buys, your ranges are wide enough so that they actually move your cost basis down. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time. Does that make sense? Like there's dozens of strategies out there for that. Yeah, and if you want to just, my best advice, non-advice there would be to just practice on paper. Don't try to do, don't try any new strategy on your life savings. If you want to have a stressful, unless you want to have a stressful time. So practice it, but understand that there's two approaches to trade to maintaining risk exposure, right? The first is that you only maintain risk to the upside. So meaning you don't tolerate drawdown, you don't take a big stop, you don't have a position that you're building down. You just buy it in the direct, like when it's moving up, and then you just hold it until it stops doing that. Like that's the easy way. And then if you want to get a little bit more complex, play the probability game and then really manage the position. That's when you want to build positions down, and you got to be very disciplined to do that because that's going to hurt you. So you've only just been hitting limit buy and then limit sell to exit. There's nothing wrong with that. So basically what happens when you use a limit order, I'll just walk through this as well. So when you use a limit order, right, limit buy and then limit sell, what happens here is that your limit buy order is going to fill at this line or below it, right? So if the price really slams down, you could get filled right at the line or you can get filled somewhere down here, right? When you use a limit sell order, you can get filled anywhere at or above the line, meaning that if it's a $10 sell and it's up to 10.05, you might get filled at 10.05, right? Depending on what's available. And then if it falls back below, before you get filled, you just don't get filled. Because remember, it's got to be at or above for a limit sell order. Now, market order, like we talked about earlier on the stream, that just kind of just gets filled whatever's available, right? It doesn't really have a specific guarantee to it, other than that it will fill, assuming a stock's not halted, and then you just get what you get. So that's why you got to stay away from like really wide bid-ask spreads when you're doing market orders, unless you're trying to trade that gap, basically. So there's nothing wrong with using limit buy and limit sells. That's what we see on the order book. So all these pending orders right here, these are all limit orders or buy stop orders. It's either stop orders or limit orders on here. So 1360 right here, for example, could be limit buy orders, or it could be stop losses. And that's why I'm saying there's no imbalance between buyers and sellers, because you've got one group down here waiting to buy, you've got another group willing to sell. And in order for any transaction to occur, you need a buyer and a seller. And that's one of those things that's like horribly misunderstood by most traders, because they just see stuff on YouTube and then people say like, oh, here come the buyers are stepping in. That's not a thing. The buyers are always there. It's just higher or lower concentrations of liquidity, and liquidity is everywhere. It's not something that only exists at pivots and things like that, which is also horribly misunderstood because of YouTube videos. So you just got to be careful when it comes to how you learn about the market. And that's why we're here. I don't want anyone here to just get the wrong foundation, So, again, if you're considering buying positions down or building, that is always a choice, right? So I don't want anyone here to feel like they have to build positions down or they have to hold red. You don't, let me do that. I'll do it for you. The only real advantage in that is that you get a bigger position for a lower move. So if you just bought here and the price went up and this was your target, let's just say that this is your buy entry. Okay. If you just bought here and your price went up, you'd make a profit on a smaller piece of your position. Okay. If the price went down and you place that second buy, your position size would increase, but your average would just be like right here. Okay. And then when the price moved back up here, it would just have less distance to go for your break even. And then when you go a little bit higher than that, you just get a slightly larger profit is all. Like the math really doesn't favor you too much in either direction, depending on whether or not you want to build a position down. The one thing that I will say about this specific strategy, if you're building down, is that if something doesn't come back to this break even and you go lower, all you've done is add more money to the fire. And then you just take a bigger loss. Now it is controlled because you are reducing the amount of exposure for each dollar because you're placing more of it down here. But again, that's not much different mathematically from just, grabbing it. Sorry, 1 second here. I'll just erase all these. If you're a new trader, you're better off, honestly, if you don't want to deal with big losses, just placing an order here and then having a tight stop. Because if the price wants to come down here and then go back up, you can still catch it right here. And you can still have a tight stop right there. Know what I mean? So it's not much different mathematically. It's going to make a world of difference psychologically. And that might be the difference between whether or not you're able to follow a strategy and whether or not you're able to mitigate big potential losses. So I can't legally give you guys advice, but if I could go back in time and start over, when I was a new trader before I learned how to build positions down, I would skip on that entirely personally. And I would just place my buys and just let it go. And then if it wants to go the other way, I just cut it. Like if I could just go back in time to my first year of trading, that's all I would do. I wouldn't be messing around with averaging down or any of that stuff. Because I didn't have the discipline for it. I didn't have the patience. And I was putting all my buys 6% or within 5% of one another. All right, so XCUR is curling nicely so far. If I go up to the higher time frame, you probably see it a little bit better. Kind of like that, but it's got to get volume. There's no volume. So I gotta see a surge in volume. Same with ATMV. We've got our big push here. And again, we've got another scenario where we've got a 5-candle rule and it didn't sell off like it should have, right? Once we broke this level here, we should have just sold all the way back down or at least halfway down. And we didn't do that. So I still like both of these. It's just a matter of when that volume is going to sweep back in and grab all these. NCPL is unhalted, has been for a little while. We got a big wall here at 160, so they're trying to push this down. And let's see, let's draw a line there at 160. And they're walking that wall down. They just walked it from 160 to 157 to 154. They definitely want this pushed down, and they want to wait until there's enough counter pressure to push that back up. But that's got potential to get ugly. So ugly. So I might grab a little piece of that, but probably just not yet. Keep cutting out, but yes, average on can be dangerous. Oh no, is my audio breaking up for anyone else? A FedEx driver just slid off the road in front of our shop, took out the sign. Damn. Is that because all the ice? I know you said it's a woman driver, but I think the ice might play a factor as well. That's rough. Okay, thanks guys for letting me know. Yeah, it seems like it's something on your end there, Duco. Try the YouTube video. Oh, that's not it. Yeah, let me grab that YouTube link and then see if that helps. Grab that link for you. YouTube sucks now. Okay. All right, fair enough. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and restart. That's what it is. Oh, excuse me. That's what it is. It's the woman. She's angry. She's attacking his audio feed. She's had enough. All right, so again, there's not a whole lot going on right now in the market. It is a very slow day. I don't want to rush anything at all. IBIO did continue pushing. That's great, but I'm not going to chase it up here. That is super scary. Not touching it. Just going to hang out, see what it does. NCPL is pulling back. Everything is just kind of chilling. We got XCUR curling a little bit. It's taking some time. It's got to get volume. And then AATMV is also just kind of in indecision mode here. So I don't want this to sell off. I am okay to add some more down here if I need to, but I'd rather not. I'd rather just see it bounce and just blast off and hit that target like it's supposed to. That is still the setup that I see, and I still see the algo setup here on the order book. It's just a matter of when that volume comes in. So both these are just kind of waiting on volume. NCPL is just rocking and rolling. I like it. I might grab a piece of this. I don't know if I want to. I think I'll hang out. Oh, your chat wasn't even loading. Solar flare disruptions. That's what it is. That's the what are those? What are those particles, guys? Let me look it up. What was it? What was it? What was it? It's a type of ionizing particle. I can't remember what it was. With the cosmic ray. When you guys remember that Nintendo speed run where the bit flipped? That caused a big thing. Yeah, robot in other words. I can't think of the word. There's a specific name for the. Pretty sure it's a photon or maybe it's a gamma ray. I don't remember. Damn it. Oh well, I'll look that up later. But that's what it is. IBO, yeah, IBO is climbing nicely. I don't want to touch it yet. It's got a lot of good potential, but at least not on this time frame. This is one of my favorite stocks. It's just not something it's too steep. I think I just don't like it. That's not to say it's due for a pullback or any of that stuff. I just don't see a setup here that I can use. I see a nice shiny level right there, but the price is so far away from that right now, and it ain't coming back by the looks of it. And it's also not giving me any other levels that I can see. So this is just purely directional to an extent. It's weak, but it's directional. So I like strong directional, and I like kind of like sputtering directional volume. So basically what I'm saying is I want to see like small candle, big candle, small candle, big candle, small candle, big candle, and then some consolidation, then a pullback to one of those small candles, and then a bounce. That's what we like to see. So when it's just like this, you kind of just miss it. If it goes, that's okay. You can keep a super tight stop below any of the candles you enter on if you want, but stuff like that gets a little bit scary. So we're just going to hold off. This one halted again in CPL. So it looks like it came back, hit the 154, and then just decided to pop. So that's cool. That's a good volume to market cap ratio right now. The rest of these are just kind of trash. Like there's not. ICKITT is probably the next best candidate, but it's already kind of moved. So again, I don't want to chase anything today. DBI is pretty nice when it gets volume. Not touching it today though. That's a nasty setup. I don't like those little shark fins. It's like a sturgeon, I guess. Just gotta wait. So for this specifically, there's another half of this. Let me see if I can just draw that out for you. So when we see stuff like this specifically, and this is on a super small time frame, so I don't expect any big move. But you kind of get this little sturgeon top here. And then typically you see something like this. And then you see a ramp. So at some point, maybe the next week or two, you might get a good pop on that one. But we don't know when that's going to be. So in that case, what the best solution is to put a line at the high and just wait for the price to kind of challenge that. And then when it does, you can trade the breakout. But I don't want to try to time that valley if and only if that happens. I mean, this is what the stock looks like otherwise on this time frame. So there's a mismatch there, which tells me I'm just not going to trade it. AFJK, that one is a brand new one on the list. Halted already, looks like twice probably. Let's see, 4 million float, 6 million outstanding, so 2 million. It's got earnings coming up in March. Kind of trash. So it pushed all the way up there and halted on less than 500,000 volume. It's 1/8 of their float. I don't trust that. No thanks, sir. That thing's going to be halt city. Let's watch this one because that's a 20% candle right there. That is insane. Absolute insanity. That probably just halted right there. What was the range on that candle? That was 22.20%. That's definitely halted. I don't know why people buy stuff like that. It's not people, it's algos. But I guarantee there's retail traders out there that are like, oh, we're going to halt trade strategy this. These guys are going to get destroyed if that pulls back down. So if you do trade halts, great. There's definitely profit to be made, but you have to be very careful. So at 10:24.05, we'll see if that one wants to unhalt. And then if you do trade this stuff, you really, really, really put yourself in danger if you don't use super tiny positions. So these are like earnings calls because they just happen, right? So be careful. That's all. That's what I'm saying there. All right, XUR still just kind of chilling sideways. ATMV just kind of curling a little bit, still just kind of chilling. GIPR, ooh, I like this one. So I'm just kind of shopping around. I'm not looking to commit to anything just yet because I'd like to keep some of this cash just in case XUR gives me that pullback with a small candle. Otherwise, do I have my level plotted on that one? I do not. Ooh, yeah, I got to plot that level. Got to plot some pivots, boys. There we go. So basically, if we get that pullback with the bounce, then I'll add some more to this one. Otherwise, I'll just put that 90 into something else for today. Or if I cut this one above my break even, then that'll free up that money right now. But I don't want to commit the money to something else and then have this one pull back and give me my perfect setup, because then I'll miss that opportunity. So. What's the difference between AFJK and the AFJKU? It's different types of shares. So whenever it's 5 tickers, there will be a 5th letter at the end. There's U, R, and W, and then sometimes I'll have like a dot. And then there's also, I think, A and F, if I remember correctly. And that basically just says it's like preferred share. W is for warrant. R, I think, is preferred share. I'd have to look it up. I forgot what the last one was. You caught me off guard. I can't remember. So let's look it up. RW. And that applies to NASDAQ tickers, I should say. So U is that's not it. I'm gonna have to look it up elsewhere. Stock ticker. What is it called? Taxonomy. Let's try that. Oh, it's just units. Okay. All right. Interesting. So basically that just entitles the holder to multiple securities. So one stock, one warrant. So it's a combined share. Yeah, I can't. My brain just shut off there. That was interesting. Sorry, let me just catch up on the chat. No, Vertrax, not a neutrino. Those are interesting, though, if you ever get really bored and want to learn about that. You want to go deep in the hole on physics there. The top's just crushing IBIO. I love it. Love that volume in NCPL today. Yeah, that one is it's beautiful. That's kind of the golden child, right? It's the one that got the attention. Can't trade the U in the end. Yeah, that's because you can't. You would need the warrant capability on your account, which you probably don't have on your Webull account. Yep, FJK. Ether. Because you also won't be able to trade AFJKW either, because that's just the warrant itself. So, all right, let's just kind of peek around here. ATMV's kind of chilling in this range still. We got XUR just kind of chilling in the range as well. AFJK is just halted. That's insane. ALEX is on the list, but it's dead, so that's kind of silly that it's up there. GIPR is one of my favorites as well. Nothing I can really use here, though. Like, it's not giving me anything good. Kind of like that. But it's already kind of broken out. So I'd like to see a better retest, just like on XEUR, right? I don't want to see, kind of a halfway pullback. I want to see an actual retest with some quality. Looks like AFJK unhalted. These people are going to get hurt. That's going to immediately halt to the downside probably, and then maybe do that like 2 or 3 times. It's going to get messy, messy. It's already halted. It unhalts and then it halts immediately. So got to be careful with that stuff. It's super bright outside. Sorry. It's like, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Also, let me just close out my extra tabs here because I don't need all those open. All right. JWAG, am I right in saying that a $100 trade on that would have made more profit than a whole month of premium membership plus an entire month of Rest Retired newsletters? Let's look, right? Because the watch list is free. It's easily accessible to everybody. So where was Lee's entry on NCPL? It was at 96 cents, so way down here below $1. All right, so let's say, for the sake of math, we were right here at the bottom of this box, basically. So right now we're up 67%. So $67 would be a 67% return on a $100 position. So yeah, I think it's more than accurate to say that. His coaching is $39.99, so it makes sense. So yeah, that's great. It definitely pays for itself in that case. Charlie, 1% profit. Thanks, y'all. I'm running away. Haven't been every time, and it's been killing me. Good. I'm happy to hear that. No offense, but go away. Like, get your small profit, your achievable, consistent base hit for the day, and run away. You don't have to spend time looking at it like I do. Go compound it. It's nice. Go enjoy your day. It's nice out today. It's super bright, and I hate it. But go enjoy your outside time. You've earned it. Glad you could hang out with us. Took some IRBT. Top is an animal. Oh, okay. I see what you're doing here. That's nice. I don't remember when I drew this box, but it's a nice one. That must have been over here, maybe? No? Oh, I guess I'd have to be on the 2-minute, right? I don't remember drawing these boxes, Top. Must have been either, yeah, okay. I think this was last week. It was Friday. We traded this one. I grabbed it here. We sold, and then we sold this as soon as it broke below the box. I hate that this symbol shows up down here because we definitely sold it like right here, but it just shows here because it's below the candle. So it always looks like a big loss, and that's kind of by design because they want you to, keep trading and stuff. But we bought this one at like the bottom of this candle. We sold this one at the top of this candle, and then this one was like near the top of this candle as well. But yeah, so this box, this lower box here, where the price is kind of sitting on, that was drawn last Friday before this big push to the upside. So a lot of potential on that one. Kind of bounced and held. So if I just focus on that box, it held the price and then it rejected it to the downside yesterday. And then it kind of held the price here, and now it's allowing it to push to the upside a little bit. So a nice little box. Now it just needs the push, right? So you've got the setup, you got the confirmation right here. Now it just needs the continuation, right? J-Wag, leave. Oh, he looks so serious. Broke it some more gains here on KITT. A picture Top having like 5 monitors set up, just looking at 24 different stocks all day. Can't do it. It's good stuff though. The system work. Oh, 4 max. Okay, that's good. Good. Yeah, I like it. What are you targeting on this one? I mean, that range right there, just above $1, that was kind of the last hurrah for me. So you've got this zone right here, right? That's pushing into. Now, if that can break, you've got beautiful, longer term potential setup up to, $2 and such. But I don't know if you see that today, but there's nothing wrong with letting that one breathe, in my opinion, as long as you get those stops and move them up. Something like that, we don't want to move and breathe in the downside. We just want to breathe into the upside. So good trade, man. I like it. nice little 5-candle run that started right here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 closed candles with higher lows on the 5 minutes. So 40 minutes of higher lows on the 5-minute chart. And you're forming the last one right here. And if that closes in the next 20 seconds or so, you know, that's nice. I'm just going to peek over here at XCUR as well, because that one's starting to get a little bit of juice on it. This one and ATMV are starting to get a little bit of attention, but XCUR definitely has the better potential. It's just kind of a matter of which one of these is going to get the volume first. So let's see. Is it going to be XCUR or ATMV? Which one's going to get the pop? It is 10:30, so I'll have to jump off here pretty soon. I don't want to waste people's time if we're just watching paint dry. I do have one more trade that I can take for the day, but I think I'm just going to hold off on that until I see something higher quality. So let me end the live stream, and then I'll hang out with you guys here in the Discord for a little while. All right, so thank you all for watching the live stream. If anyone in the Discord is watching the live stream to see the video, I will do my best to narrate for you in the Discord, but I think we've got enough seats open at this point in the Discord. So let me end the stream. Thank you all for hanging out, and I'll be in the Discord. Let me put that link in there as well. Anyone who isn't in our Discord yet, just go ahead and grab that link, and then it's free. You just jump in the Discord, and I'll be on the live stream in there for a little while. All right, thanks. Bye.